Hey, what's up, app Morphees? Welcome back to The Commute. And in this video, I'm joined by Rizwan Ahmed. He works as an iOS developer in Zoho Corporation. A lot of you guys would have met him in the Zomato catch-up event that happened recently in Delhi. If you have any questions regarding iOS, you can reach out to him with the links down below. For now, this podcast will range from a lot of things like how to get started as an iOS developer, and we'll deep dive into how to navigate big code bases and a lot more questions. It will be pretty interesting, and I hope you guys really enjoy that. And if you want more of these podcasts, guys, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and let's get started. So I usually start off my podcast by asking people, how do you define stable life? What do you think is stable life?
I understood the importance of sleep. Sleep is very important. Mental health is very important.
I agree.
Okay? Anything which disturbs your mental health is not worth it. You
Yeah,
have to think about your choices.
I agree. Agree. I actually asked this particular question, how do you define stable life, to a lot of different people. And
Uh-huh.
they have different, very particularly different answers. Like founder answers it very differently. Principal engineer answers it very differently. And
Mhm.
a student answers it very differently. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it depends upon the person to person. But like as compared to like when I try to expand on this particular topic related to mental health
Yeah.
in the corporate world,
Yeah.
what do you think about the loneliness that is inside of the corporate world, like as a
Loneliness.
loneliness? Like usually people face a lot of loneliness when they just get started from college to corporate world. They just switched and the environment is completely different. Now then there's adulthood with there's nobody to tell them what to do. So
Exactly.
so what do you think about this, like handling mental health and as well as loneliness in this corporate world?
Okay. So basically, that is a very good question for any fresher or a graduate who's right out of college, because there is a drastic transition in their life. They are stepping into a something new environment, right?
Yes.
uh, the teams should be accommodative. They should take care of the newbies and stuff. In my team, I don't know about others and all, but usually in my team, we make sure that the new joinee is comfortable, and they are given the opportunities and all. And if they are given the how do I say that, um, we should be uh,
A chance to make impact.
a chance to make impact. Not only that, we should listen to them also. That is a very important point. Most folks don't listen, and we should put ourselves in their shoes as well. When I joined, I was straight out of college,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know anything. I mean, whatever I learned in college didn't help me in a real life. I was like taken aback. What did I do even in four years of my life? um, so that was a turning point, enlightenment for me. And then I had to unlearn and relearn things. Environment is very important, you know
Yeah.
uh, any organization. And as far as loneliness is concerned, yes, there can be some instances. Initial first few months will be like, you will get to know the company, your peers, your manager, your team lead, and they will get to know you. And slowly the bond will, you know increase. But yeah, again, environment is very important. It's not just about work, it's about people. Okay. People are very more important. It's my opinion. People are more important than your work and all, because products will come, products will go, languages will come and go. Yeah, 10 years back you said objective c, now you are saying swift.
Mm-hmm.
6 years back you said ui kit, now you are saying swift ui. Same thing, you said java, now you are saying kotlin. But what remains constant is people and their desire to learn things and make great apps, right?
Yes, I agree. I agree to that point. I think the most people do not recognize this, that how much importance people play in their life. I usually when I got off from the college, I had the same feeling what I was doing for my 4 years, and I got to know that you are the average of the five people you stay with. So
Yeah. Mm.
yeah, I agree to that point that if you are in a right environment where people are there to listen to you, and also you're there to make an impact, that's a way that will actually take you way ahead in your life. um, One more thing that I wanted to expand upon is that you talked about impact as such. How do you
Mm.
think a fresher can make an impact in a company like Zoho, which has already been around for a while now?
So it's not only about Zoho, any company you can take. Okay.
Yeah.
As a fresher, first 6 months, to be honest, this is the truth. First 6 months will be gone just like that.
Hmm.
Understanding the things, how a company works, what product am I working on, and all. And one advice I give to freshers is you will be you will be having so much energy inside you, which is a great thing, and your mind will tell I will do everything, but no, it's not going to work out, my friend. Take one thing, work on that, complete that, and move on to the next thing. All
I
right.
agree.
And
Hmm.
when you do that, when you take and complete that one thing, try to work on that such that you have covered all the edge cases, all the cases. Obviously there are, that's why we call as edge cases, because you cannot cover them, but try to give your best, try to polish it. Anybody can make a calculator app, but polishing the app, making it work on various environment is very important, is what I feel.
I agree.
So take one thing and work on it, spend time on it, learn things, uh, and understand the code, understand your peers as well, understand the the style of your peers, and you should develop your own style. Okay, everybody has their own style of coding. Coding is also like writing a language, right? Like English language.
Hmm.
So you need to develop your own style. You need to figure it out. Okay. First 1 year or 2 year, it will be exploratory phase for you, and then you will realize, okay, this is my thing.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So
People usually talk about metrics a lot nowadays, in resumes as well. Like metrics impact a lot. But as a fresher, you are just here for 1 or 2 years of experience, not much of something to add metrics in a company, in a big company. So, what do you think? How can a fresher actually give one or two metrics and actually add it in his or her resume over time?
regarding metrics, no, there's a really nice thing. There is always a room for opportunity. You have to find out that opportunity. Talk with your peers. Find the dig into the code base. Find out what is slow. Even if you optimize something by zero point 0.1 second, it is an improvement, right?
I agree.
So
Yeah.
try to find out, figure out things. Yeah, when I was starting out, I couldn't understand the code base, because what I learned was Swift and my project was an Objective C. I
Hmm.
had to learn Objective C in order to work, right? So I remember I used to stay late nights, and I used to lock myself in meeting room, and you know going through code bases. Why is it written like this? Why is it written like that? Like this? And while going through the code base itself, there I could realize that there are so many places where the code could be improved, and that is true with everyone, right?
Yeah.
Small things matter. Small things matter. You should take care of the small things.
Hmm. I agree. But first of all, let's start with your journey as a developer.
Uh,
Like, how do you explain like someone who is just like starting out from a fresher to joining Zoho and spending their like almost 8 years? How was your journey there?
Everybody's journey is different in every company. I can only tell about my journey.
Yeah.
Like I said, mm, first 6 months it just went out, and it just went in exploring. and knowing people, knowing your team, knowing the culture. Culture is very important. How the culture is and all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to, when you are a fresher or you're just starting out, you will refer to a lot of resources online. We didn't have ChatGPT and all at that time. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
have LLMs, solid LLMs which would code and all. So you had to refer so many things, go through the documentation and all. What I developed is how to search effectively in Google search, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
DuckDuckGo, whatever. How to search what you need. That is a skill which I tell freshers to develop, no matter what it can be. Okay. Um, so yeah, that was there, and what else was there? Let me think. And after a year, I was developing small modules in my project. Okay, I started with changing color of a button, and then creating a button, then creating a view, creating a big activity like that, and then an entire module. That's how you start, right? So after 2 years, I felt like I started developing my own style. I started seeing other people. I wanted to be like them. Okay, I will also code like them. I used to
Mm-hmm.
wonder whenever a WWDC video, I mean, WWDC, right?
Yeah.
Whenever a WWDC video came out, or what is that? Google I/O video came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's Google I/O for Android, I guess. So,
Yeah, I don't know about Swift, but yeah, Google I/O for Android. Yeah.
so people started writing blogs just like that. I wondered how could you do that, but then I understood that they have a lot of experience and their brain is tuned to it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's natural to them. So I then started developing my own style of writing code. Making it following solid principles, following to do not repeat yourself, small things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as a fresher, I wanted to do so many things, but I couldn't, and I failed. I have failed so many times. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned from those failures. Okay, this will not work out. This will not work out. As I said, I developed my own style, and then I knew what I wanted in
Mm-hmm.
fifth year, sixth year, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's progressing good now.
Yeah. Like one more thing, like specifying your journey in Zoho as such. You have been with Zoho for a very long time.
Yeah.
Why is there a reason for that, or you never thought about switching?
Uh, it's a very personal question actually. Like everybody
Uh,
has their own
yeah,
choices, right?
yeah,
Some
yeah.
people spend 20 years in our organization and all, but my thing is, uh, I feel challenged, and it's about the people who I
Oh,
work
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
So those are the two important reasons.
I particularly think like when you started off, like me personally, I enjoy startups as compared to big companies because I
uh,
think that I can make a bigger impact in startups and change things quickly. And this is what I think. But many people usually enjoy big companies because it's much more stable. You have a good salary and you get to just do bugs all the time. So that's a way of thinking.
okay.
When you joined Zoho, like was it a really big company or was it starting to get big?
It was I okay. It was no, it was already like how many years? I don't know. Uh, I joined in 2015, I guess. Yeah. So it was mid-sized company at that time, and now things have become exponentially bigger.
Hmm. We
So
use
yeah.
Zoho for our HR stuff. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
So people and so recruit.
yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
we yeah, we recognize that Zoho is like here for a while. I've seen Zoho with inventory management systems and stuff. So there's a lot of expansion in Zoho as such.
Yeah.
What do you think about like if somebody is starting off, right? he has 1 2 years of experience, right? And actually wants to make an impact in the company as such. For example, let's take an example that I want to see a new feature added into this particular app, and I think it will make the app more profitable or much more engaging. But
No.
this is what I think. I'm not a senior developer. I've just joined. How do I convince the CTO or maybe director of engineering that this would be good? How would I
Okay.
do that? Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, I'll give you an example. Uh, if I come to you and I say that, consider that, what is your favorite cake or favorite ice cream? Just tell me.
Um, Chocolate brownie. Yeah. I
Chocolate
see.
brownie cake.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is your favorite cake, right? You have been eating it for like so many times now,
Yeah.
so many years or months. I come to you and I tell you that, hey, do you know this banana cake?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is
Mm-hmm.
more tastier than your chocolate brownie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe uh, consider that. Imagine that you have
Mm-hmm.
a bakery and you sell cakes, and chocolate brownie is your favorite, and
Mm-hmm.
you think that this is the best seller. And I
Mm-hmm.
come and I tell you that, hey, have you tried this banana cake? Um, it is much tastier than your chocolate brownie.
Mm-hmm.
What will be the first thought which will come to you? Will you
Yeah.
agree or not?
I would tend to think that of course if I have a lot of experience I will be kind of arrogant about it. Like, why are you telling me I know my stuff? And
Exactly.
if I would be a fresher, and if somebody is suggesting me, then I would hear. Depends upon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You will hear, right? So that is the thing. That is the thing with software as well. If you
Yeah.
just, but what will you do if I come to you and I say, hey, I have made this cake. Have a taste of it and let me know how it tastes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I give you a banana cake and you eat it, then
Mm-hmm.
what will be your thought process? Consider that you are experienced. What will be your thought process?
I'll think about it. That if I
You'll think
like.
about it. You'll
Yeah.
think about it. Your thought process changes. You'll think about it, and your what do you say? You'll consider it. Maybe
Yes.
it
Yeah.
may or may not be, a bestseller or whatever, but you will consider it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Even in software, if you just come and say, hey, I have this idea, this can, if you just create a presentation, this, we have this, we can do this, that, I'll be like, it may or may not work. But if you give a POC,
Mm-hmm.
then you will get a hands-on experience on what I'm trying to say. Because you may be telling something, I may be imagining something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is very important. Make a POC. POC, it need not be a full-fledged app or a full-fledged web app.
Mm-hmm.
You just need, you know, um, a small POC just works with
Mm-hmm.
dummy data. That is enough to get a taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's why, and that's how it works. Even I tell my juniors, I tell my peers, if you want to do something, bring a POC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it will roughly half an hour or maximum half a day.
Mm-hmm.
What's making a POC, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Uh, That is a very effective way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the thing, if your idea gets approved or not, it's a secondary thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to approach it. You should not keep on thinking, will what impact will I do? How can I do it? It's good, but you have to put things into action, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I've recently encountered the same thing that I would say that I usually go up with a presentation or something without any minimum
Mm.
viable product or something. Yeah, this is something that I learned as well, that I need to actually make a product to even showcase it, even before pitching it.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I agree to that part. What do you think about like making apps as your like full-fledged apps as your portfolio projects? Like, I've seen people make news apps, to-do apps, block or maybe small apps just for their portfolios and stuff. What about actually solving a small real problem and making a whole app and releasing it in Play Store? What do you think that would be a much better approach as compared to just making a small app?
I would say is do whatever floats your boat, but just ship it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is better if you ship small things at first if you are really new to the field, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because creating a app is one thing, deploying is another thing.
Yes.
You'll get, all your motivation and energy will get decreased when you deploy things, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Store or app store may ask, okay, you need to upload these many videos, these many screenshots, these many description, these many keywords, title, this, that, and then app review process. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you are really starting out, try to start out with a very simple project. And then after you get a taste, you can obviously build on it. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Start
Like,
small. Start small.
yeah, I usually think.
Right? But start small.
Yeah, yeah. I usually think that like when you're deploying a whole uh, app and stuff, it's people really like coding, but people don't enjoy writing a blog and stuff as such. They like explaining things in person, but they don't like just articulating what they think. I think that's most of the developers how they go about their life.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes.
What do you think about like AR as a technology in apps, augmented reality?
Okay. AR as a technology in apps. Very good question. Um, I think it is a very powerful landscape, but we haven't explored enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if we have the opportunity to explore in that space, we should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, AR and VR, I think, go hand in hand these days
Mm-hmm.
because of the introduction of Apple Vision Pro and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are so many use cases. For example, seeing a 3D model of a heart or a brain. When I see those videos, I wish I could. These things existed when you know,
Yeah.
when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same example. If I tell you this banana cake is tastier, I will not, agree to it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But if I taste it and if I get a feel of it, I will agree. That's
Mm-hmm.
why that's how learning also works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I say heart pumps the blood,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't see a heart. It's written in the books and all.
Mm-hmm.
If I see an animated video or you know animated 3D model doing the pumping and
Mm-hmm.
if the circulation is being done, then I will not forget it,
Mm.
right?
I agree. I recently had a talk with a guy who's working as an Android developer in Book My Show, and
Also,
I pitched him like about AR and stuff. His thinking was
okay.
that AR is not something that a lot of apps will integrate because it's much more of an entertainment side, not a profitable one, and a lot of apps do not work this way. I tend to, deviate from this particular statement because I think AR would be something that I personally enjoy, and I think so adds much more value to apps. Because, for example, let's take an example of Kalki as a movie.
Mm,
For example, Book My Show has a booking of Kalki, and if they were to book tickets, and somehow during the process of booking tickets, they were to show Prabhas or maybe the vehicle that is in your room, and you can play around with it, play some games around it. It would be a much better and different experience while booking the movie tickets as compared to just uh, just doing it with a utility app like Book My Show. So I think AR would be a different new landscape that would be added into new apps in the apps as well, and actually expand on the profitability and engagement side of it. That's what I think, at least. What do you
that's true.
what do you think about?
There is a much broader scope in educational apps as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Really, 3D models of heart, brain,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the Himalayas,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Okay.
I agree. Like, what do you think about having your own app as such as a side hustle? I mean, like you're working in a company. Let's take example. Like you're working Zoho, and like by the day you're at the Zoho as an iOS developer, at the night you are making your own app as an iOS developer and trying to earn an income from that. What do you think? Is it
I
pos?
don't think.
Is it pos?
No,
Yeah.
uh, it's not allowed according to our company rules, and
Mhm.
more than that, I don't find time actually.
No, I mean, like if it is allowed. Let's take an example if it is allowed.
I haven't done that. I haven't thought in that way. So
Hmm. Like,
yeah,
have you ever thought about making your own SaaS or maybe your own app and starting it off as a startup or something?
no, not yet.
No. Like,
No,
do you have
not
any?
a priority.
Okay. Do you have any advice for people who wants to start your own app and maybe their own SaaS and stuff?
Okay, I may not be the right person for that, but there are so many people talking about this. There is a buzz going around.
Mm-hmm.
These indie developers and all.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that in web, but I don't remember who was it. There's a buzz going around, but I'm not the right person to give
Yeah.
advice on that.
Yeah. I think like developing your own app is something amazing. Like when like before joining Geeks for Geeks as well, I actually tried to release my own water tracking app in Android,
Wow.
and
Uh,
currently I'm making my own app as just a side project, side
that,
small project.
okay.
So I enjoy doing that because it actually helps me understand and go back to my basics, because I think a lot of people struggle with starting app from a zero, from a template, and actually making the app as compared to just solving bugs in already made app, because
That's,
there's a difference between these two particular skills. So it helps me revise and stuff. If people want to start a part-time pet projects or something and release it in Google just to play around with it and actually, expand their skills, that would be a great thing to do. That's what I think, at least. Um,
yeah.
Other than that, what do you think about exploring different tech stacks? Have you thought about
Huh?
exploring? Um,
Obviously, it's much needed. Just because you are an iOS developer, I will not stick only with Swift.
mhm,
I play around with different backend stuff, Zoho Catalyst,
mhm,
Zoho Creator, and all,
mhm,
how those things work,
mhm,
how to write a simple backend, how
mhm,
to, at least as a local server.
mhm,
Just what you said, you need to know things, how things work, right?
mhm,
You don't have to ship it to production and all. Or you can maybe create a open source library and you
mhm,
can ship it like that.
mhm.
No, I think that shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah.
I can check with the company how it works. Yeah, uh, I feel that it is very important for folks to understand how things work, even if you don't get a deeper knowledge.
Mhm,
Especially for app developers, I've seen people use third-party backend systems,
mhm,
okay, without the actual knowledge of MySQL and all. That's fine. That's cool.
mhm,
You are getting your job done,
mhm.
but try to understand how things work
Mhm,
so that it may help you in the long run.
mhm,
I always say that this coding, programming is a career.
mhm,
It's not a 100-meter or 500-meter race. It is a marathon.
mhm,
You need stamina.
mhm,
Okay. Uh, there are some people like my you know
mhm,
my friends who tell that,
mhm,
oh, okay, बस हो गया 2 साल खत्म,
mhm,
अब मैं जा रहा हूँ खेती करने. नहीं
mhm,
नहीं 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 नहीं. It's a marathon.
mhm,
Enjoy the process.
mhm,
Okay, so if you want to enjoy the process, you try to do different things, learn different things.
mhm.
May or may not be relevant to you, but if it really interests you, give it a try. Nobody's gonna stop you, right?
I agree. Like, I think so. Actually, it actually keeps your passion of being a developer alive, because by the definition of software engineering or development, we find excitement by building things. If you are not building things, you're just solving bugs. We will be like just dead inside. So That's how I think, at least when we are trying to actually explore different tech stacks as such. Like for example, I was when I was building my app, I had to use like AppWrite as a backend service, um,
Mhm.
and I wanted to actually explore Golang to make my own backend and stuff. I started to explore. It is tough to, as an Android developer, currently switch to backend without any knowledge, but I
Mhm.
think when as an app developer, if you start exploring backend, uh, people tend to understand a lot of how an API is actually built and what is the behind the scenes of an API and how
Mhm.
everything interacts with each other. It
That's true.
it actually helps you expand your knowledge and actually grow you as a much better developer. That's what I think. Other than that, is there a particular framework or something advice that you would give? One piece of advice that you would give anyone who actually is starting out or maybe is in the journey of like 1 year of development? Take this advice, take this framework, and use it. You will become a better developer. What would be that one piece of advice?
Actually, there is no silver bullet as such,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Uh, there is no one piece of advice. If I were to give one thing, if I were to give one piece of advice, I would say that when you are coding, be
Mm-hmm.
mindful and always have this thought that the code which you will write,
Mm-hmm.
you will erase it in
Mm-hmm.
future,
Mm-hmm.
right? In such a way that it will be erased in future.
Mm-hmm.
Erased in the sense it will be enhanced. Okay, it happens with us,
Mm-hmm.
right? Take it may be any framework or with framework, without framework, whatever. You will write code now, you will come back to your same code after, like, say, 1 month or 2 months, and you will say, like, did I write this thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's replace this, let's remove this and replace this with thing. Change is constant, you have to be ready for change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure you write your code so that it is flexible enough so that you can, plug and play things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Follow the
Uh,
solid principles. Yeah.
Follow the solid principles. Do not repeat yourself. Keep things simple. Don't go to, you know I'm using mvvm, I'm using viper, I'm using this, that.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever floats your boat, and just make sure that things are separated,
Mm-hmm.
and concerns are separated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I may say that this framework works really well now,
Mm-hmm.
but tomorrow that may be obsolete. That's our profession, right?
I agree.
Some framework will come, so be prepared for that change. Be prepared for that. Yeah,
So,
and also you have to change.
mhm. I particularly think that, like, for any developer, having the understanding of how the code communicates is much better, as it's much more important as compared to just understanding how what code to write. So
Yeah.
that's the key takeaway here. And like I- I do not have any big questions around Swift UI because I do not have much knowledge. But
Um,
what would be some important topics that a person should know about when he's starting off or he's in a journey of Swift, like 1 year of development and stuff? What are the some important topics, some stuff that he should know or he should practice so that he could become better? What do you think?
okay. If a programmer who is starting, they should definitely, first understand the language. There are so many concepts, like, why you should use a class, why you should use a struct,
Mm-hmm.
and how you pass messages and data between various classes and structs,
Mm-hmm.
and how the reactive thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you change a value, how does it reflect in the UI, how a network call is done,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come to the threading, background threads, background queues. That is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And database, I think in Android it is roomdb.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have core data and swift data.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have frameworks here, core data or swift data.
Mm-hmm.
Which one will you choose? Again, so a fresher has to see those things, and yeah, as I said, If you move to the Swift UI, which is purely UI building framework, you
Mm-hmm.
should be aware of buttons, lists, and views and navigations, how data is passed, how data is preserved, continuations. An app lives for like maximum 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I think you use an app for 5 seconds, normal app, not media apps. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling about normal apps. For
Mm-hmm.
example, notes are as maximum 2 minutes or 3 minutes. After that, you close. When you open it again, it should start at the same part where it left, right?
Mm-hmm.
That thing. Then the push notifications. How does a push notification work?
Mm-hmm.
And then the life cycle of an app, life cycle of a push notification. Um, how to write clean code,
Mm-hmm.
how to write code so that your peers can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your peers, you should be able to understand your code after a week.
Mm-hmm.
People will say that I have written this code now. When I was writing this code, God and I only knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Now God knows it. So yeah, make
Yeah,
sure you come.
I think this is a meme going around. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
it's a famous.
understand their own code after 1 week.
Yeah.
Like,
One more
yeah.
thing people don't do is they don't. I'm not saying about people. Even I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Documentation and testing. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, writing unit tests. It is very easy,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't do it. We
Mm-hmm.
should cultivate the habit.
Mm-hmm.
It will save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that the developers should write their own test cases, or is it to be done by a quality insurance engineer or something?
Unit test, yes. UI test, maybe by the quality QAs,
Mm-hmm.
automation engineers you call.
Mm-hmm.
Because as far as unit test is concerned, you are writing your code, right? You are
Mm-hmm.
writing the logic.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be testing it out.
Okay. Okay. Understand.
Because
I think many of the apps do not utilize unit test as such. Um,
yes.
yeah, I
If
guess.
you start thinking of writing unit test, right? Automatically your code will become clean.
Mm-hmm.
That is a simple trick. You don't need to go go for think much about fancy architectures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. What do you think about this nuance of AI versus software engineering? Like AI will replace engineers in the future.
I'm not sure about it, but now I can see that it is enabling so many people to develop their apps on their own, which is a very good thing actually.
Mm-hmm.
I even saw a video of an 8-year-old person who was, you know, creating a chatbot.
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed.
Mm-hmm.
The person, it was completely in English language.
Mm-hmm.
Some people even say English is the next programming language, or the language which you speak is the next programming language.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Again, as I said, change. You have to be ready for the change.
Mm-hmm.
If it
I
makes it better, you have to make use of it.
mm-hmm. I think there's a new struggle with LLMs as such. I think that there's a law called Morris law, which means the transistors will double each year. That's what I think, at least. Um,
Yeah,
so that is what is happening with LLMs as well. That they're trying to double the sample size each year, but the growth of the LLMs is actually exponentially decreasing. So I think so. There's a power struggle here because ChatGPT 3, then coming to ChatGPT 4, there's an enormous difference. And then going from ChatGPT 4 to 4.5, I think there's not much of a difference between these two, even with a huge sample size.
yeah,
So I think as like we are moving towards large and larger LLMs, I think so they would not be the future, but rather a niche down version of LLMs. We're just solving one particular problem with one LLM, and I think so you'll see a lot of products for that as well. Other than
that's
that,
true.
I usually have this like I usually hear this nuance of, you know, um, in the future we will not require any interface as such, which means Interface will not be present, no apps will be present, no websites will be present. You would just directly talk with the backend, and they will give us whatever we want, and maybe it will be voice controlled and everything. I do not agree with it, but what do you think?
I kind of, interfaces will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, your screen interfaces, I think they won't be gone just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing which you mentioned, voice UI, UX, there is a whole lot of topic and research, and there's a separate course in some universities,
Mm-hmm.
voice UI and UX. When I started as a fresher, I thought only UI and UX meant only the screens which I see. But
Mm-hmm.
no, it is not about that. It is more about um, voice, how to
Mm-hmm.
use your voice,
Mm-hmm.
and accessibility. If you have worked with accessibility,
Mm-hmm.
you will discover a number of ways with which a user can interact with a device,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it can be routers, it can be specialized devices for them to use, because some people may not be able to touch the screen, some people may not be able to see the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and so many things. So I believe that voice is a very powerful means of communication,
Mm-hmm.
because if you take it from the time of evolution,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we humans are comparatively less stronger than an elephant or a tiger, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go on a one-on-one, there are high chances of me getting brutally beaten up by an elephant or a tiger, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do we conquer it?
Is with our
Like,
intelligence.
intelligence, okay. Like there's a how did we survive? How did we survive?
By communicating.
By communicating. Not only communicating, humans have this excellent technique of telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if consider that there is a group of deer,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
drinking water,
Mm-hmm.
and a tiger is there. A
Mm-hmm.
deer sees that.
Mm-hmm.
The deer you know, will just start running, or it may not communicate properly. But we as humans,
Mm-hmm.
we don't we don't say that, hey, I saw a tiger there. I went hunting and I saw a tiger there.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't say that like that. We spin a story around that.
Mm-hmm.
Lives are, you know, made up of stories, and
Mm-hmm.
so many stories we had listened, heard.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that voice UI and UX will play a major role. It will change it. It is a very different way
Mm-hmm.
of interacting with a device.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I like some part of it I agree, but some part of I do not understand. But examples, there are edge cases where even a person who is exceptionally fine
Huh.
cannot interact with any kind of device with just voice. Because, for example, what if you are a library, you're not supposed to say anything, and now you cannot use your device because it does not have any interface. Whoa, these are some very weird edge cases. You cannot shout randomly in an open train when a Google assistant is not understanding you. You cannot try to, sing a song or hum it when Google Assistant is not able to understand it. I think the interfaces will be a very big part still. It might be that we will be making interfaces for different devices. Might be there will be an VR. We are making apps for that particular VR, and the interfaces might change. But I think the
That is
interfaces will be there,
yeah,
because it would be very weird without seeing anything, just interacting with it randomly.
yeah, that is a problem to solve. I said that interfaces are not going anywhere, but voice will also come up. If you take this example, health tracker apps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, earlier, uh, people said that, okay, your phone, mobile device will track your activity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
um, how much you walk, how many steps have you taken,
Mm-hmm.
so on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people came up with devices like Android VR
Mm-hmm.
or Apple Watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they said you don't need a device, this will track it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, what is the recent invention which they have done? Any idea?
That strap that does not have any interface.
That is a loop, right? That was something loop something.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah,
And then there is another thing.
ring.
And then people said, "Okay, I have a watch. It will track my sleep, etc., etc."
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm sleeping, it is uncomfortable.
What about health ring?
Yeah. What about health rings?
Yeah.
So it got transformed into health rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a ring. And some of the people said that no, 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 I have my classic old watch which my grandfather gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Will I be using that or will I use this Apple Watch? I need both. I cannot wear both in my both the hands. It would be
Mm-hmm.
awkward, yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they solved it using rings. It is
Mm-hmm.
a really nice
Mm-hmm.
uh, approach to that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a loop.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It was a strap or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I,
So yeah,
I
that's how it evolves.
Yeah, I particularly am excited about rings as such because I really like the rings and how they are
Uh,
interacting with the human body, and
yeah,
I can wear them in my sleep and I can wear it everywhere. That would be
yeah, yeah.
that would be super exciting. I think like we can like integrate a lot of stuff with rings and loops like that. That would be very new thing to develop applications around.
They are already in the market. See,
Yeah.
if you see that, it is a beautiful thing. Even the devices have evolved, but the data which we receive has not changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will be the same string and it will be the same set of integers and numbers. So that's what I say. The devices will evolve.
Mm-hmm.
It is bound to evolve, but the primary things will remain the same.
Mm-hmm. The fundamentals always remain the same. I tend to agree. These were all my questions, and I don't have any more left. If you have anything for me, like asking anything, or if you want to give a key takeaway before departing.
Uh, Thanks for having me in this wonderful podcast,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And key takeaways, I say this to everyone: if you learn something, try to write about it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a WordPress blog or a Substack or Medium, whatever. Write it and put it to the public. Post it to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Why? The reason is you will be more conscious.
Mm-hmm.
You will subconsciously your mind will be like, hey, I don't want to make a mistake. I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting it out in the public. I don't want to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you will try to keep those mistakes minimal. Obviously there will be chances of error, we are
Mm-hmm.
humans, but we can correct them. You will learn, you will get an in-depth knowledge of that topic.
Mm-hmm.
Example, you may write like how to load an activity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have written an article about how to load an activity in mobile device, but how about a tablet device?
Mm-hmm.
How about a VR OS?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So questions come up, and then you will start learning more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you write a blog, it will serve as a self documentation for you.
Mm-hmm.
I basically write about my experiences at homeswift.com because uh, I started it with the sole purpose of self documentation
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I forget it, I will come back and I'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice to see that people are getting benefited out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. It's what I call accountability with articulation. That's how I define writing as a developer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time as well. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and added some real value to you. And this has been my time for now. Bye bye.